Okay, so I'm very happy to have us in the last class, like I said. So today we'll be looking at Windows application, and in C Sharp, .NET technologies. Like we've always been saying that there are various things you can use C Sharp .NET to do. You can decide to design a web application. You can decide to design a Windows application or a mobile application. So before the inception of what we call WPF, like the software I showed us then, the hotel management system, I designed that one using a WPF. Now, before that WPF, there's what we call Windows Form. And Windows Form is just is a desktop application where you like from your Visual Studio you develop a desktop application, but it's much more very easier than when you develop using WPF. That's if you want to develop a Windows application, desktop application now. So, and there's those designs you see around the application I showed us then, you can't actually do them easily on Windows Form. So there's Windows Form, there is WPF. So when you want to design a desktop application, you can either use Windows Form, using .NET now, you can either use Windows Form or you can use WPF. So the WPF is quite complex. Why the Windows Form is very, very, very simple. With Windows Form, you can develop an application in just a day. Like if you know what you are doing, you can even design. So I want us to define design an alarm system, but the time and the population did not allow that. So we'll just do something simple today. Then I will give us an assignment. Now, last week I said our project is going to be a calculator, but after speaking with one of the stakeholders, because we meet our stakeholders and all that on this bootcamp, and it was suggested that we'll be making it a team project rather than an assignment. We'll be making it a team project. So you'll be working together as a team. Working together as a team, you will be designing a very classic calculator, like classic calculator, very good one. It's going to be a Windows app. So, and you have between after this class and Friday to deliver it. So you guys will be working together, Mr. Adele, Ms. Goodness, and Mr. Timine. So when Mr. Justice come around, I will also inform him also. So you're working together as a team. So I expect you guys to go and after the class, you go and create a folder on our usual repo. I think there should be a folder there called project. So you can start working together. So you have to work together on the project. So, but what we'll be doing today, we provide much more guidance to how to go around Windows application. So that explained, I'll be introducing us to Windows Form, which is very, very simple. In just a day, you can create a Windows application. So I believe you can see my screen now. This is what we'll be doing today. I'll start from scratch. It's just an improvement of something we've been talking around while we were considering the basics. So as you can see on the screen, CDPA calculator, the Windows app will just collect the person's name and matric number and collect, then the person can select the unit of each course, then we will enter the score, then I have just 10 courses here, then when the person click evaluate, it will give out the grades. The grades will be replaced by what you can see as labels here. Then the GPA now will be printed here with the matric number. So that's very, very simple. So we'll be starting this application in this class and we'll be finishing it in this class. So sit tight, your battery is low. So I've not finished the application, but I will cancel it now and we start from scratch so that we can see it. So I want to start a new application. So, any questions before I start? Okay, no question.
Yeah, I have a question. Like this, what's it called? This calculator app that you're trying to build on the screen. Like, can you tell us how you get to this area, like from the scratch?
Yes, that's what I want to do now. I want to start from scratch. You won't see everything. I will take away all this.
Okay.
So now, I will start a new project. New project. So as we know, there are different types of projects on it. So um, I will click under Windows Desktop. So under Windows Desktop, you can see Windows Form. You can see WPF. Yeah, I can see WPF. This is WPF. So we are doing Windows Form, which is the simplest. So let's call it CGPA. No, let's call it GPA. GPA. It's not a CGPA. It's GPA. So okay. Okay. So now when you do that, still loading. Okay. Now this when you do that, this is what comes up. This is what comes up, and what this is just a form, just like a normal Windows that you open on your laptop. It's just giving you like you have a fresh form. So it's not left for you to design this particular application. And if you look at the uh, the files you have here, you have program.cs. You are very familiar with that, and you know your main program runs inside this main method. Run inside. So it's different from the console app. You know, the console app, when you run it, just have a black output, and it's quite boring. But this one, your application will be like a window, something you can launch, like the way you launch Microsoft Word, the way you launch applications on your laptop. So that's what we are trying to do here. So it may not be that very beautiful, but that's what we are doing. So now this is what runs the application, just like we are familiar with console. So now it creates a new form. As you can see, it's created an object. So the whole form you are seeing is just an object. It's just an object. It creates a new form and it runs it. That's what it does. So now, but in Windows Form, what you just have to do, you don't need to compare against WPF. WPF, you have to write code before some tool can come out and all that. So coming. So in Windows Form, you have your form. This is your form, and every decision you take here, they reflect. So when you take decision here, it automatically writes the code behind those tools, those objects you're making use of. So now, if you check your the right hand side here, I'm coming. It's, Windows toolbox. That's my toolbox. Okay, so under views, if you go to toolbox, now there are different tools. There are different tools you can make use of. There are different tools. Now let me open all, as you can see, all Windows Form now. You can see the pointer, background worker, binding source, button, checkbox, combo box, data grid view, data set, list box, and all these, they are tools. And what you just have to do is just drag them and drop them on this form. So when you drop them on this form, it automatically writes the code that creates such tool for you. So let's try and mimic the picture I gave us the other time. So we saw full name. So that's a test. So under the toolbox, that's referred to as a label. So all I will do is just click this label and just drag it here. Now, when I drag it there, I can either right click and click on properties. If I want to change some properties of label as it is now. I want to change some properties of label. And as you can see here, these are the properties. These are the properties. These are the things I can change. I can change properties of this label. And one of the first thing I will change is I will change, let me change this from label 1. So that's the property of test. So I can change this to full name. Change it to full name. Then when I click on it, as you can see, it has changed to full name. Possibly the text size is too small. I can click on font here and possibly increase the size to something like 10. Click on it, has increased it. Maybe I want to change the font family, I can change it. But let me just leave that the way it is. So what other things can I do? I can do many things. Auto size, okay, let me leave it on false. And so many things. Okay, then as it is now, as you can see on the top of the application, when you open an application, just like you see Visual Studio here, you can see Microsoft CJ Studio, and you can see this icon here. So I can decide to change the icon to the logo of my software. Then this will be the name of my software. So let me change this from form 1. Let me, as you can see here, when I clicked on this form, the property changed here. So that means I can change the property of the form. So let me change it from form 1 to GPA calculator. And then I click on it, it has changed also. So now I also want to put a label here called matric number. So to just save stress, I can just copy this and paste it, copy, Ctrl V. So I have the same thing, then I will come and change this one to matric number. Matric number. So when I click here, I have it changed. Then, just like the way you name your variables, which you are familiar with, all these tools, all these objects, you need to give them a name, because when we start writing the functional code that will guide this application, we need to relate with them based on their names, and that's the variable names. So now, for this now, this is a label. So let me just change it to full name label, full name label. Then let me change this to, and I clicked on this, you can see the properties change. I change this one to matric num label. So I've done that, so I think I'm okay with that. Then the next thing now is there's a box here. No, I'll need to collect the names. So I can come here and come and carry a test bus. So I'll carry this, a test bus. As you can see, I can put that here, so I can increase the size. So I can increase it up to this point for the full name. Then also I can copy it, copy, then V, Control paste also. So let me try and reduce this for the matric number. So I can put that here. Okay. So let me increase the font a little bit. Okay. So coming. Okay. Okay. So now let's not forget the test box. Now I also need to give it a name that I can easily identify it with. So the test box now, I can just change it to full, the name now, full name. Then let me just put full name TS, full name, let me leave it as full name. Then that will be the name now. Then this one also, let me give it matric num, matric num. Matric num. Okay, so I've done that. So I think I'm okay with those two. Then the next thing will now be what we saw the other time. So let me just try and reduce this so that you can see very well what we are doing. So what we saw the other time was just a table. So I'll just come here and click and drag a table layout panel. So you can make use of all these tools here. So all you just have to do is just find a way to familiarize yourself with those tools. So we won't be making use of everything because of our time. So let me just click and drag table layout panel. So now as you can see, what this gives me is just a table. Now, a table with 2 rows and 2 columns, so I can decide to increase the size. So let me just limit the number of courses for the sake of our time to just 6 courses. So now, when I clicked on this, now as again, I want to add a row. Yes, I want to add a row to it. As you can see, the row has increased to 3. Then I want to add, okay, the column is okay. Then I want the size to be equal. So then I can decide to increase the size this way so that it can fit into my application. So let me increase it. Okay, I think it's okay this way. Then I want it to have equal spaces, so I can click on that, then edit rows and column. So when I click on that, this comes up. Then I can adjust it. I click on rows. So for the row 1, let me row 3 100%. Then if I divide the rows into 3, that's 100%. That will be 33.33. So let me 33.33. Then 3.33. Then click on this one also, 33.33. Then click on this one also, 33.33. Then okay. Now as you can see, now I have 3 rows and 2 columns. So now what do I want to put inside each of the rows? Now I want to put the course, I want to put the unit, I also want to put the score. So the person that will be using the application, we have to enter the unit of the course and also the score for that particular course. So that will be 3 columns inside each of the box we can see here. So now I can decide to bring in a table layout panel and also put it inside each of them. So let me click on this and bring that inside. As you can see now, I have 4 boxes inside just one. So I can decide to remove the last row. As you can see, I've removed the last row, and I need 3 columns. I need 3 columns. Do I need 3? No, I need 4. I need 4. So let me increase the column 1. Okay. So I want it to have equal size. So let me come here. So if there are 4, that means in percentage that will be 25% for each. And the percent, so I'll 25%, 25. Then also this percent, 25%. Then this 25%. This 25%. So this is just for editing the table. It's not something difficult. So now let me try and see. Okay, I have it this way. Then I want it to occupy this place. Okay, then I'm done. So now what I will do is inside each of the column now, the first one I need to put something like, okay, this is course 1, so I will need a label toolbox. I will drag a label and put it here. So as you can see, label. Then you can see the property. When I click on label, then as you can see, so let me give it a good name, course 1. Let me call it course 1 LBL, course 1 LBL. Course 1 LBL. Then what test? So I'll come down here and just make the test called course 1. Then if I click on it, as you can see, course 1. Then I don't like this too small. So then let me give it a good font size. Let me make it 9. Then let me make it bold. Then okay. Let me increase the size of this. Okay, increase the size of this. Okay, I think I'm okay with this now. Then the next thing is I want the student to be able to, the user to be able to select the unit. So then I'll make use of a tool here called Combo Boss. So Combo Boss is that's a drop down, just for drop down. So I'll click and drop Combo Boss here. So now when I put Combo Boss here, let me just put a test here. Okay. Now, you should have a collection. You know, a combo boss, a drop down should have a collection. So let me first change the name also. Let me change the name to course one unit. So let me call it course one unit. That will be the name of that combo boss. So take note, we are changing the name. The name is being mapped to the variable. So when we need to start calling the values that the person selects, so let's take note of that. So now I want to add the collection of the list. You know, it's a drop down now. So I will come to items here, collection. I click on it. Then for each line, that means for each unit, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me stop at 8. So, and okay. Then the next thing will now be a test box also, where the person will drop the score. So I'll need a test box. I can drop it inside here. So now let me change the name. So if you want to change the property, first click on the tools. So let's not forget that. So let me change the name to course 1. So let me change it to course 1 score. Course 1 score. So that's that. Then the last column here, I want to put a label, and that will give me the grade. So I'll just drag it, put it here. So that will be the grade. So let me change the name to grade 1. So I use the number to differentiate it. So for the grade now, let me just increase the size and also change the format. Okay, I don't like that. Let me look for another format. I want to use something a little bit quite beautiful. That's too thick. Okay. Let me not waste my time on this. Let me leave it here. Then let me just increase the size to something as big as 12. So then the color, the fore color now, let me make it red so that it can easily be seen. So let me change the color to, if I make it red, you'll be scared. Let me make it green. Make it green. Green is not too clear, too sharp, not too sharp. Okay, let's use blue. No. Okay. Oh, I'm making a mistake. I'm changing. So I didn't click on the label. So click on this and I'll change it. I'll change this to. Okay. Let's just leave color for now. So now, normally the grade shouldn't carry anything. So now, I will need to remove the test. Now, so okay, let me leave it. We'll do that later. So now, I've set up for the first one. So instead of me just repeating this for every other thing, so I can just select this. Copy it, and paste it. Come in. Select. Control copy, Control V. So I'll just paste it in Control V. So I'll just have to go and change the names later. Control V. So now let's start changing the name. This should be the name will be okay. Let's look at the format we've been using. This one name is course 1 LBL. So this one will be course 2 LBL. Then this one will be okay. Let me also change the text also to course 2. Then this one also, let me change it to course 3 LBL. Okay, then let me change the text also to course 3. Then this one will be course 4 LBL. Course 4 LBL. Then let me change the text also to course 4. Then this one will be cos 5 LBL, cos 5 LBL. Then this one will be cos 5. Then the last one, cos 6 LBL, cos 6 LBL. Then to be cos 6. So now I've edited the cos's now. Then let me go to the drop down. I go to the drop down. This is format. This is, oh, we are running out of time. So after this section, just try and log in back again. I have just a few minutes left. Okay, so for this one, the name cos 1 unit. So this will be cos 2 unit. So let me come and edit it. Cos 2 unit. Cos 2 unit. So this one cos 3 units. Cos 3 units. And this one cos 4 units. This one cos 5 units. And this one cos 6 units. Okay, so we've done that. So let's look for the test box. So the test box is cos 1. Use the format cos 1 score. Cos 1 score. So this one will be cos 2 score. So click on this, cos 2 score. So cos 2 score. Then click on this, cos 3 score. Then click on this, cos 4 score. And click on this, cos 5 score. And click on this, cos 6 score. So that's that. Then the label now, this one is grade 1. This one will be grade 2. So let's also edit the name also. So this will be grade 2. So grade 2. This will be grade 3. This will be grade 4. This will be grade 5. Then this will be grade 6. So, like I said, the grade label is to be calculated and reflected when the person has clicked on, yes ma'am, when the person has clicked on evaluate. So now, that means for a start, we don't need it to carry any test. So for label 1, I'll come down and remove the test value here. Then for this, I remove the test value also. For this, as you can see, they are disappearing. Remove it. For this, remove the test value. For this, remove the test value. And for this, remove the test value. So now, we are almost done. So now, we need a label to show us the results. So let's look for a label here and also drag it here at the center here. So this will be the label that will show us, okay, the result is so, and so. So let me give it a name called result. So that's that. Then the test now, we don't want it to carry anything yet, but let's format it first. I want to give it a very good, let me make it 12. Then, okay, it's normal that way. It's all right. Let me make it like that. Then, let me remove the value. Then, come in the doc now, and doc is to be on the, no. That's the doc. Okay. So let me remove it. So if you want to italicize it, if you want to do many things, so coming, go. Size for king. Now, yeah, I want it to be like this. Okay, so then let's put, okay, let me remove the label of it. I'm okay with the size the way it is. I'll delete the text. Then I'll need a button that will click on, that will do the calculation. So I'll bring a button, you can see button here. I'll bring it down here. So we need to make our button attractive. So let me give it the name first. The name, that's the name calculate. Then let me give it the test called evaluate. So it's that evaluate that will show. Then let me make it a little bit beautiful. I will give the students an hope. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Then let me increase the size. Make it down a little bit. Okay, then the background. Let me make the background green. The background green. The green is okay. I love orange. Make it dark orange. Then see if I can make the text white. White. Okay. Okay. I think that's cool. It's looking kinky. Let me use that word. Okay. So this is our label. There's nothing there. And every other thing is set. So before this section finish, so we use this other section to write the functionality of the code. So I want to explain something to us. So we're just clicking and dragging, and I know it's very sweet. What happens is the software automatically writes codes for all this. So let's see the codes behind all this with drag. So let me just save all, and let me show us where the codes are. So as you can see, this form1.designer.cs. If I click on it, you will see everything, as you can see. So now let me take us through. This is our program. When you launch this application, it creates an instance of this form. And where is this form? This is the form. And where is the code guiding this form? This is the code. Now, form 1, where is form 1? I click on form 1, this is form 1 coming. Right click and view code. Okay, now, so this is the form 1 now. As you can see, it's just a class that inherited from form. So form has been, it has some syntax. So initialize component, that's it. This is a method that is being called. And where is the method? It's residing there. So initialize component, this is it. So when you launch the application, it will initialize this, it will create all these tools for us. So as you can see the various selections we've done, the position, the name, the size, and those things we were doing there, and they were kind of sweet. But the software has automatically written it for us. So I tell us, among all these available structures online, available technologies for designing desktop application, I think .NET has it. .NET is the king. So very, very easy. Now, if you not even learn WPF, that one is very sweet. So where do we now continue to narrate the functionality of our code? So now, I want things to happen when you click on, okay, let me just launch the application and let's see. So let me launch it, although it won't be doing anything. So let's see. Starting it now for us to see. So I don't want to miss the functionality code with this Fox session. So after seeing this, I believe this section should be off. Then we'll now start writing the functionality on the next section. So I'm building it now. Still building. So while it's building, does anyone have any question? Okay, no question. Okay. So let me wait for it to be done building. It's taking time. So in case this section finishes, let's wait to come in back for the second section. Taking time to build. Taking time. Okay, thing is coming out now. So let me share the screen with us.